What if I tell you most diseases don't come alone? Rather, they come in chains. Do stay with me. The first disease is rarely the one that kills. In fact, most people don't die from the disease they were first diagnosed with. They die from what that disease quietly turns into. High blood pressure doesn't just remain as high blood pressure. Obesity doesn't stop only as weight gain. Stress doesn't remain simply an emotional thing, just like several other disease conditions. These conditions form chains, and once the chain starts to form, it keeps getting longer and heavier, pulling the body down unless it is interrupted early. This is health chains. Medicine often treats and addresses disease conditions as separate problems, but the various body systems don't work in isolation. They are all interconnected, and what happens to one definitely affects the other. Inside the human body, one imbalance creates another, which leads to another, just like falling dominoes. This is why someone starts with having just a minor health issue and ends up having a life-threatening diagnosis years later. A health chain is the progression where one untreated or poorly managed health condition becomes the foundation for another disease to develop. For instance, persistent stress can lead to high blood pressure, and high blood pressure can lead to a burst of a blood vessel or a heart damage, which eventually leads to a stroke or even a heart failure. Now, the first condition may seem manageable and even negligible, but the last one is often very devastating. Here's the thing: the body keeps records, even when symptoms are silent. Let's consider a simple scenario. A person gains weight slowly over the years, no pain, no obvious discomfort, no emergency. Some people even see this as an evidence of living the good life. But inside the body, excess fat is accumulated, and this excess fat accumulation increases insulin resistance. What insulin resistance does is to make the body unable to mop up excess glucose present in the blood. And when blood sugar begins to rise gradually and uncontrollably, years later, the diagnosis of type 2 diabetes would appear. But diabetes was not the beginning, neither will it be the end. It is merely a link in the middle of the chain. Most people miss disease progression because oftentimes symptoms are mild at first, the changes that occur happen slowly and is barely noticed, and that's because the body keeps adapting and compensating for all these changes that occur until it is no longer able to. By the time pain and discomfort is noticed, the chain is already long and heavy. Remember this: silence does not mean safety. This is why health chains exist, not to scare you, but to help you recognize early links, to help you understand how diseases connect, and to help you understand how to interrupt the chain before it becomes irreversible. Every episode would break down one disease condition, what it leads to, and how to slowly stop its progression. In the next episode, we'll look at how stress, something most people suffer from globally, but unfortunately pay less attention to, how it can become one of the most critical starting points in disease chains. Because you know what? Stress does not just stay in the mind, it rewires the entire body. If this made you think differently about health and disease conditions, kindly like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Because understanding the chain is the very first step to break in and escape in it.